the corkscrew. That means we're at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca on the Monterey Peninsula, just inland of that just a little bit. And the morning expected marine layer has dissipated, beautiful blue skies, and we are getting ready to go bagger challenge racing. And we're talking about the King of the Baggers Mission Challenge, and it's a dash for cash here, and it is a prestigious one, no points, but a lot of bragging rights. And down on the grid and in and amongst everybody about ready to head out is Michael Hill.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. As we just heard from and that is all important. Obviously, mind games going on, and of course, we talk a lot, don't we, about motorcycle racing. 90% of it, maybe more, is in your brain. Just having a look across here, then you can see the new Mission Foods bridge here over the circuit, and just behind me, a little bit of work going on down here with Jeremy McWilliams and Tyler O'Hara on their Indian machines. We've just spoken to Carl Wyman. His brother Travis is over here. I wonder whether we can maybe just get a quick word with Travis. There's a couple of minutes to go until the race gets underway, and again, he's just talking to the team, so we'll just give him a second to see whether or not we can get a word with him. And Travis, can we get a quick word very quickly? Yeah, he's just going to grab the chest protector. As I said, not long until lights out. This should be a very exciting race, and for the fans that have never seen Mission Food King of the Baggers, they're in for a treat.
Yeah, they're in for a good race. This is my first challenge since Daytona, so I'm happy to be back in the mix. We made some big progress this morning with the team, and I'm excited to get out there and dice it up and have pace to run at the front this weekend.
Good job. We'll let you go. Obviously, the two Wyman brothers racing together. And Steve, we're just going to go to your left and walk along a little bit. I can see Hayden Gillam and James Rispoli also just down here talking. We saw at the start of the broadcast Hayden with a little tip-off yesterday. Nothing to worry about. And he is very much on the pace. And let's see if we can get a quick word with Hayden. Just a last couple of minute adjustments there with the visor. The tear-offs are on. Hayden, it's a 3-lap sprint race, no points, but a nice bit of money potentially coming your way if you can pull this one off.
Potentially, yeah. So far, I've crashed this thing twice this weekend, so I'm trying not to do that. But it's been good, right? Like as soon as we get on track, I'm able to lay down some fast times, and so hopefully this challenge race helps me out a little bit with that. And I just got to get a good start and trying to just put my head down. It's going to be a dogfight around this place, so it's going to be a good show for sure.
Yeah, it is going to be good. And again, Steve, I don't know if you can just see here tear-offs as well. It's not a long race. You're expecting some wildlife out there?
Always, always. More debris flying. It's going to be bar banging right now.
Love it, cannot wait. Obviously, Hayden's teammate is James Rispoli, and he also just down here talking to Jason Pridmore. Couple of last-minute advice. Just a couple of minutes to go now till lights out. You've already got the helmet on, so I'm sure the last thing you want to do is me stick a microphone in your face. But how are you feeling, James? 3 laps, the dash for cash.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild one. You can see there's been a couple tip-offs here in the last 2 days, but, you know, the Vance and Highs boys have done well. We're getting ready. I think it's getting dicey. Everybody's starting to close up in the baggers again, so I feel like this one's going to be dicey, but at the end of the day, it's just a prep for this afternoon.
Okay, we'll let you get ready. We're being told just over 90 seconds now, I think, until the pit lane will open. So understandably now riders are starting to get their helmets ready. James Rispoli jumps over the wall. He is about to jump onto the number 43. The 79, of course, was Hayden Gillam. And then just behind me here on my left-hand side, the guy that will start from pole position. Look at the concentration over here under the hot pit for the Screaming Eagle Harley Davidson, Kyle Wyman. Just in full focus over there, isn't he? The helmet is on. He knows what he's got to do. And as he said to us just a few moments ago, you don't get championship points. It's a bit of a dress rehearsal. It's all about bragging rights. 3 laps around this 2.238-mile circuit. It is going to be absolutely brilliant. And as Hayden Gillam said, bar banging from light to the flag. And for the fans here around the circuit, they are going to be in for a treat. Other riders will also be in the mix. Do not discount Tyler O'Hara. What about Bobby Fong, the winner of race 2 last time out? And as Kyle Wyman's brother Travis said, he hasn't done the challenge since Daytona. We're into the final few seconds. The tire warmers are about to come off. Greg Creamer and Roger Hayden. This is going to be a cracker.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be epic. It's going to be phenomenal. And the guy that I really am thinking about here, maybe, Roger, is James Rispoli. That lap he was on until he came across that lapper was a really good lap. And he just loves to throw bikes around. And if this track's a little slick with the sand and the like, he's at home on that.
Yeah, and also he's aggressive. And even Hayden as well. Both the Vance and Hines riders are pretty aggressive and really made them and the team has really made some big strides this year and always kind of finding themselves in that podium battle and then also for the win as well.
Tough when you see how strong Kyle Wyman has been running, not only all season, but right out of the gate here. Is incredibly tough to bet against him right now, though.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Going in this race, Kyle is the one to beat, and everybody knows that. But the thing about the Mission Challenge race is it's 3 laps. So if you don't have the race pace to do 7 or 8 laps at pace, well, you're like, well, I can do 3 of them. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna just go for it.
Let's take a look at this track. It is such a classic racing venue for sure, and everything about it remains the same, just the new pavement's down. So the track itself, the layout is the same, 11 corners, 2.238 miles in length. That turn 1, a little bit more sketchy now after the paving. There's a little rise there, and then the Andretti hairpin is just something special.
Yeah, and we've seen some riders have some problems getting the bike stopped going down the hill in turn 2. It is downhill, and 3 and 4 set you up for that run through turn 5, which has a lot of camber. And we've talked about turn 6 a lot, that run up to the corkscrew, turn 7 and 8. 3-story drop down into Rainy Curve, turn 10 with a lot of banking, and then also we're going to see a lot of passes, turn 11, really tight left-hander, last corner. We're going to see some action there this race.
And of all the great corners here, probably the most important one would be turn 5, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because right from there it starts climbing up to the corkscrew.
So you got to get it lined up and get that run up the hill. Let's take a look at our 6-rider grid for this 3-lap, $5,000 to the winner, Mission King of the Baggers Challenge race. Kyle Wyman on pole, less than 2/10 clear of defending champion Tyler O'Hara. Bobby Fong, most recent race winner, sits there right in 3rd. Hayden Gillum, who's been wicked quick in the 4 spot. James Rispoli, who's been fast as well. And it's great to see Travis Wyman, whatever the issues they were dealing with, get those sorted and end up here in that top 6 and be able to be in this challenge race. And for him, that's just going to be great confidence builder for the race itself.
Yeah, it's going to be confidence huge, and then now he's going to get to race with these guys and get that get to ride with them and see whatever he's struggling with. Maybe they're doing something different he's not.
All right, here we go, and you can see front of the grid, the red flag, and watch for the green flag at the back of the grid. That will be the signal that it's clear. It has happened, and as always, the lights will come on. When they go out, we go racing. Lights are on. We're green. Mission King of the Baggers Challenge. Great start by Wyman. Tyler O'Hara looking down the inside. Wyman tips it in over turn 1, solidifies that hold, and Rispoli in the back, but Fong going right around the outside of Tyler O'Hara. Beautiful move by Bobby, but does he float out wide? Oh, way wide in the back. Was that
James Rispoli?
He's got a problem.
He had an issue, either braking or getting the shifter to go back going into turn 2 off the start. But you can see Kyle got a great start. It looked like he was pulling away already, but Bobby Fong there chasing him in.
Yeah, Bobby Fong found it late in that qualifying session and has glommed onto the back of Kyle Wyman. Here we go through turn 5, that banking you're talking about, and look at that hillside. We're climbing up here to the very top of the track, tipping it into this angular turn 6 with that compression. Wyman has eased away just a smidge at this stage.
He ran a little bit wide on the exit of 6, and you can see how it's killed that drive up to this corkscrew. We talked about turn 6 being so important, and you can see what happens when you get it wrong.
There's Tyler O'Hara sitting in that 3rd spot, but losing touch just a little bit with these 2 up front. And now down through this tricky turn 10, and look at the run into it that Bobby Fong gets. Does that set him up for a run in? No, I think he may have overshot just a little bit. He really flew in there.
Kyle blocked that inside a little bit. Kyle's a smart racer. He knows that's one of the places that that's available to pass. And we see Hayden Gillum now making his way into third.
Got up underneath Tyler O'Hara in turn 11. And Hayden Gillum now up into the third spot. Here we go, into the Andretti hairpin. And you can see the different approaches here. Kyle Wyman backing it in just a little bit, and Bobby, the back end, a lot more planted as they turn in there. There's Hayden up into that third spot with Tyler sitting there in fourth, and then Travis in the fifth spot, and then, of course, distant now, 43 Rispoli. But now, will Bobby be able to hang on to Kyle through turn 3, now into 4, and heading once again up into turn 5. Boy, this race goes by in a hurry. Crucial run out of 5 here, and up the hill we go.
And Kyle Wyman on that first lap did a 29.8 from a dead stop.
That's impressive. Unbelievable, that kind of a pace from that dead stop. And here we go, up into the corkscrew. And this time, no bobble at all from Kyle. And builds. Oh, and Bobby Fong. Back end started to come around. It snapped out on him, and off he went. Down he went.
You could see that. We've seen Kyle back in there to the left and then was able to bring it back. And when Bobby did that, he was trying to close. When you're behind somebody going up to the corkscrew, you're trying to brake a little bit later than him. And it slid out. And then when it hooked up, he was down. But luckily, he was up and okay.
That's the good news. Was up right away, just frustrated, of course. All right, on to the front straight. White flag coming out. Kyle Wyman now is going to have a sizable margin, and a 28.3 for that second lap. But watch here behind, Bobby Fong. Yep.
As soon as it backed out to the left, you can see it. When it came to the right, it just hooked up.
So he is down and out of the Mission King of the Baggers Challenge, and at the line it was 1.7 seconds Wyman over Gillum.
And actually Hayden Gillum last lap was a 28.3 as well, same pace as the leader, but just off the start lost too much time.
And he had talked about that. He can get up to speed in a hurry, and it's when he pushes a little bit more that he's had his offs at this stage. And Tyler O'Hara sitting in that third spot, but Gillum, a wicked fast first sector. I don't think it's going to be enough, but man, he is certainly trying here. There you go through turn 6. And up to this bend to the right, over the brow. It's a great aerial shot of the corkscrew. And then
you can just see the drop.
Yeah. This rainy curve, you want to attack it, but there's a certain element of patience you have to exercise there too, isn't it?
And also with the weight of the baggers too, that rainy goes downhill all the way toward the exit, so you got to be careful not to get in too deep. But Kyle's did a great job here into the last corner.
On the power, into the wheelie, coming across the line, an absolutely dominant run. Once Bobby Fong had the issue, Hayden Gillum comes through, and another really stout lap for him. Tyler O'Hara would complete the podium, then Travis Wyman, Bobby Fong, and James Rispoli, who pitted early after that moment here. But man, I'll tell you, Kyle Wyman, you know the problem is you're chasing Kyle, trying to get by him, and he makes you run so quick to get back up to him that's when things can happen.
And that's the thing too with Kyle, what he's so good at, such a good racer and racecraft, gets good starts and then puts his head down right away. I said 29.8 his very first lap. That's only a second and a half, less than second and a half off of what his best lap of the whole race was from a dead stop.
Yeah, really remarkable at this stage. And there you see, I'm sure that Kyle is absolutely elated as well for Travis to show that they have found some speed here, and glad to have him up into the mix in this one. And giving some waves to the crowd here on the cool down lap. And there you can see the number 50 of Bobby Fong off in the gravel up on the outside of the approach to the corkscrew. And so they'll have to get that bike fetched, get it back down, and of course they've got a race coming up later, so the crew's going to hop on that in a hurry.
Gonna have to get on, but luckily the Rolling Sands Indian teams are a really good team, and looks like the bike didn't really flip, so it's not too bad. So they're going to get him back out there pretty quick for that first race, which is the one that pays the points.
So that license plate on the back of it, always a reminder of where these bikes actually begin life. Nothing like them, but it's pretty impressive. So here you go, Kyle Wyman with the win, and a good one at that, almost a second and a half clear of Hayden Gillum. Tyler O'Hara in the third spot, Travis Wyman in fourth, Rispoli in fifth, and Bobby Fong done after that off. So right now, Kyle Wyman is going to be making his way down into the victory circle in the podium area, where there is a large check awaiting him, both physically and fiscally at this stage. And he's going to be loving this moment here as he works his way down and in. What's it like after you've won a race, whether it's a short, dash for cash like this or a big race? Just that feeling, of the victory, that victory lap for the winner.
Well, it's just a feeling that you can't describe, right?
bet,
And it's
yeah.
wish that you could bottle it up and have a little bit of it every day. So especially when you beat the guys that you're fighting all year and put a good race together, it's just the cool down lap after a victory seems like it never lasts long enough.
I can believe that. So, again, just waiting. We've got this beautiful, absolutely beautiful day here once that marine layer moved. And here he comes, Kyle Wyman, into the victory circle area. Again, no points paid in this one, but he comes in here on the weekend with a 13-point lead over James Rispoli, and then a 27-point lead over Hayden Gillum. And center of our screen, just in about two-thirds of the way down, that is the podium. The crowd is gathering for the presentation, and of course working his way into that is Michael Hill.
Yeah, just waiting for the Screaming Eagle 33 to be pushed into position. Big crowds down here at the WeatherTech Raceway, and we're going to move in a second and just get a word with Kyle. He's just talking down here to one of the Screaming Eagle crew. And Kyle, if we can get just a quick word with you. What about it, WeatherTech Raceway? Make some noise. Kyle Wyman gets the win here. There we go. They are listening to us. A big crowd down here. Kyle, how was that for you? 3-lap dash for cash. Job done.
That was great. Yeah, just calm. Just wanted to really focus on putting that first couple laps in and trying to make a little bit of a gap. Gave myself a little bit of breathing room, but yeah, nice dress rehearsal for later. And man, how about this Harley-Davidson Road Glide? This whole team's been working so hard. Screaming Eagle, Olean's USA. I want to thank Alpine Stars and 6D Helmets for keeping me safe, and of course Mission Foods for putting up this great purse, sponsoring the series, sponsoring the bridge. You guys are awesome. We appreciate all that support.
And of course, Kyle, we can now ask, we have two representatives from Mission Foods. The $5,000 check then going to Kyle Wyman. And big smiles from Kyle. As he said, he is going to be getting ready for the points race later on. But Roger Hayden, Greg Kramer, big smiles from Kyle Wyman. Screaming Eagle Harley getting the job done. And $5,000 richer.
Yeah, that's a nice dinner for the team and covers a fair amount of expenses on a weekend like that. So some great stuff. Let's go back, take a look at the highlights of this 3-lap Mission Challenge race. And it all started, of course, with a solid, great start by Kyle Wyman. And I'll tell you, the guy who got a really good launch, it looked like it was going to be Tyler O'Hara, but watch Bobby Fong. He gets a tremendous run down into the Andretti hairpin, loops around Tyler, and then set off after Kyle.
Yeah, he set sail for Kyle, and you see right here going into the corkscrew, making that mistake, trying to make a little bit of time on the brakes.
Yep, just slipped away from him, and down he went. You could see the frustration because I think he knew I had a fast bike there. And so Kyle Wyman at that point had really nobody behind him. Hayden Gillum threw down some fast laps on his way to second, but Kyle able to bring it home for the win, enjoying that lap of honor, and then heading down into the podium where we just heard from Michael Hill. He received $5,000 from the good folks at Mission Foods.